Hey everybody, long time no see. It's Kane On The Brain here in my apartment and whatnot. I was going to do this until like a month from now, but a lot of people asked me to get back to some Battle Report games, and I have a very special guest here today, and we're playing some Age of Sigmar, playing with all kinds of good things. We're doing a little narrative campaign and whatnot stuff. So I'd like to introduce Brother James,
What's
aka
up?
Blue Ridge Games.
Blue Ridge Wargaming.
Oh yeah. So, we're doing a narrative campaign and whatnot. Just getting back into the hobby, and I'm gonna let him introduce his army that he's gonna be playing with within our narrative campaign. I'll be introducing mine next. Then there's also the aspect of today's game is gonna be in the realm of high-ish, the realm of light, and we'll go over our objectives and whatnot afterwards. Stuff. So, James, why don't you take it away?
Alright. So, uh, we are going with basically Skaven with the faction of Molder. Here we have a unit of rat ogres. We have 3 units of the giant rats that are proxied as clan rats. I do have a reason for that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Another unit of rat ogres as well, so 2 total. Unit of pack masters tucked in with my master Molder, who has a thing catcher.
His character.
Which is me. This is me right here with the 3 arms. That's just who I am. But then also this wonderful, beautiful mutilation of life itself, the Hell Pit Abomination, and then the Vermin Lord, who is right now, of course, Screech Vermin King, but it's going to be run as the Warp Seer.
And we're doing 1550 points of our armies and whatnot. And I'm playing with the forces of Nurgle. Yes, an army that many people thought I would never play with or ever run. But I just thank them for releasing Termu Khan into the game, so that's why I'm running that. You're not going to see him today, but eventually you'll see him on my channel with army and whatnot. And shout out to 2 Plus, Tough, Doug, and all the guys at Mini War Gamers, and everyone that's over at Rerolling Ones, because Jack and all of them are freaking hilarious and awesome. And my cousin Alexis, the Eagle Queen, God love her. Yes, we do. And it's good to be back. And to all my other war giving friends and family out there and stuff like that, mahalo aloha, it's good to be back. So, with my army today, I'm going to be playing with my forces of Nurgle, starting with a 3-man unit of plague drones. I have the Forge World Great Unclean One, but he'll be played as the normal Great Unclean One. He has the Massive Sword and the Bile Sword. I have my personal character in the campaign, Yukon, the 3-eyed Prince of Nurgle. He's a demon prince with wings, the axe. He's the general of the army, and he's armed with the Precedence Breath trait. And also, the Great Unclean One is given the artifact known as the Books of 1,000 Pox. So he uses +1 to his casting on top of his other +1 to casting from the Bile Sword. Then moving over here, I have a classic unit of Chaos Marauders of the Krugen clan from the far north, going old school, old world Warhammer. I have 5 Blight Kings. The guy that has the tentacles coming out with the glaive and the 2 Nurglings is the unit leader. The guy at the bell, of course, is the musician who has a special dirge thing, and we have the bannerman. Then we have a 30-strong Tide of Green, all kinds of plague bearers, and they're full command. And then we have Hotuplus Slimix, the very first plague bearer in existence and whatnot. I have 1 tree for free, and then after the start of my hero phase, I'll be putting down 1 tree for free from him. So at the start of hero phase, I get a free tree from him, and then rolling and whatnot. I'll probably end up with 3 trees, first turn. Now, the objectives of the game is that each of the players have to throw down 3 of their own objectives. I'm actually throwing down mine now. And booyah. So I have my 3, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. They have to be within your deployment zone. And over here at James, what 3 judges are you putting down? And they have to be within 6 inches away from each other. Boom, up, straight across. Oh, snaps. So, by the end of turn 5, whoever holds the most objectives wins. However, my army also has a, what is that called? A sudden death, since I have a lot less wounds than he does. By turn 3 onwards, I need to get 3 of my own units in his deployment zone for an immediate major victory. So it's kind of like a line breaker dash, because there's something secret back there. But with my character storyline, he's a treasure hunter, and he likes to plant trees. So there's definitely some treasure back there that the Skaven, are holding from Clan Molda. So other than that, I'll get back to you guys at the end of top of turn 1 and end of turn 1. Also, I forgot, we're rolling to see if he can steal the initiative. On a 6, and that's cracked. So roll back. 5. Close. So, top of turn 1, Nurgle. Alright, so we are back at the end of turn 1. As you can see, most of my guys that were all here, all moved up. Everything ran. I used his special ability that allowed me to throw down a second tree within 3 inches of him. I rolled my 2d6 plus the 4 that I had. I got 8 corruption points. So at the end of my command, at the end of my movement phase, that was going down. But we did a mulligan since I messed up and he messed up. So I got to put down my 3rd tree over there. So on a special customized base. And then James, all of his guys moved up, ran up, took over that hill. And like, plant our flag! And now we're about to do the roll-off for turn 2. So, I get my dice, he's got his dice, mine is white, his is dark green, and I got the 5, he's got the 4. We'll be back at the end of Nurgle, top of turn 2. Alrighty, so at the end of turn 2, basically what ended up happening is that all my guys over here moved up to try to create like a whole battle line. But during the hero phase, Big Daddy over here offered up 1 piece of himself to Nurgle so that he could put a protection of it's a highish spell called Pause Protection for the Demon Prince. Basically creates a -1 to all attacks against him into the next hero phase. And then he also, correction, he didn't use the Biowind on that one. He only used the Pox. He did the +2 for when he did the Fire Genesis to move the seasons around. When he moved the seasons around, ended up targeting his main HQ, took 1 wound, the Packmasters took 2, and I rolled 3 wounds for the big guy. However, he made one of his saves, so I only took 2 wounds, so now he's down to 10 wounds out of 12. Still big and nasty and whatnot, and can still do a lot of damage. Everything else just moved up. I threw down, let's see, 1, 2, yeah, this is the newest tree I threw down, so I have 4 trees down. And then once it got to his turn, is that in?
For the most part, I just moved up, cast a Mystic Shield on my Invigorated Rats after the Howling Warp Gale. Put on the Chosen over here.
Not the, they are the Blight Kings.
Blight Kings. So, wound up with Howling Warp Gale getting 5 mortal wounds out of the D6 over here on the Blight Kings, killing 1 effectively and
kill that guy.
Adding 1 wound onto another.
Yep.
And invigorating these rats so that they are able to do a +2 to their attack roll. So until my next hero phase, which may or may not be this next coming phase. So we'll see.
Because now we come down to the moment of rolling to see who goes at the top of the next turn. Alright, so I got my die. Got his die. 5 and a 1.
Of course.
Looks like Nurgle's going once again. My stomach was ready to jump out of my body. Because I knew if he got that turn off, I was like, whoa! Things are going to die a little faster than I thought and stuff. This is not going to be good. But alright, so get back to you at the end of turn 3. Alright, so we're back at the end of turn 3. This one was definitely a bloodbath. I really like how this turn went down. There was a lot of fighting, and I mean a lot of fighting. A lot of things died. A lot of things were getting back up. A lot of things were just beating other things down and whatnot and stuff. The strategies going back and forth on that stuff was tight. So on my turn, all my guys over here, all moved up. He put his command ability on them to give them +1 attack. They also got the locus ability from him, give them an extra attack. He also unfortunately put the command on him as well, but he failed his charge by rolling 2 1s when he was 3 inches away from combat. Just completely changed a lot of things on my side. And we also, what's the word I'm looking for? These guys fought some rat ogres. Kill the rat ogres. Rat ogres also did damage. Did not kill that one guy because he got shot in the face by this big rat right here. He didn't like him very much, but it's all good. He'll be back. These guys all moved up to deal with another unit that was here. The tribesmen also moved up to deal with another unit that was here, so both of them tag teamed 1 unit. He did not really, so he didn't go into combat. He tried casting the swords, and he blocked the swords. He then he did Fiery Genesis. Genesis went off, did a few more wounds to him, and to the leader, and to the other unit. Bringing him down to 8 wounds. He has 3 left because he only did 1 wound to them, and these guys are almost, I swear. Alright, these guys lost 1 guy, 1 guy is wounded. His HQ, move him back up, is down to 3. The drones ran up, did some damage, but they were overshadowed by the general who flew in, killed the 2 rat ogres that were there. So they didn't get to swing at the ogres, so they swung into another rat unit that was all right here. Ooh, excuse me. So doing damage. So it took all 3 of these attacking 1 large rat unit. That unit was killed off and tried using his command ability. Didn't get them back for all 3 units. And then once it went over to his turn, it got nasty. Brother got real nervous, I'll be honest. I got real nervous. And you see that grin on his face. He knew what he was doing. I like what he did. I as a player, I appreciate the tactics that this brother just used against me and stuff. And you have to take it away.
Oh, I mean, the whole purpose of punching on this side was to just really try to get the general out. And he was able to hang on. Unfortunately for me.
I had 7 wounds left. Brought me down to 3. Did a whole bunch of damage. I had to make a save for his last attacks. It does 3 damage to Peach. Made all my disgustingly resilient rolls except for 1. And I rolled a 1 on that one. Used my last command point to do a reroll. got a 6. He survived with his last 3 wounds, which is what he would have needed to get Kingslayer. Even though that's not the objective, but that's still extra points. And by killing him off, he would have weakened the drones and whatnot. So yeah, Ronan nasty. he really, really, damn, that was good. That was good. He did bring back these rat ogres though, so they've been trucking their way back up the battlefield. So those two are toughing it out. My general did do a few wounds back to the Hell Pit Abomination, but not enough to really do much damage to it. We did weaken him a little bit, so he's not at his doing like 10 or 12 attacks that he had. And he's just chilling back there, laughing, licking on his sword and whatnot. And I currently am at 18 contagion points. And we're about to do the roll off for see who takes next. Ready to do it? Alright. He has a 2. I have a 2. Oh snap, sudden death. Because it could in here a 6. A 6. Oh snap. Another 6. A 1. Dun dun dun. He won the roll off. Oh shit. Get back to you guys at the end of turn 4. Alrighty, so end of turn 4. As you can see, there's not a lot left on the board. There's my death pile. There's his death pile. A lot of things are dead. Like, so dead. Real dead. All kinds of dead. All kinds of not coming back. Okay, they'll be back, but you know, that's a different game. as he has his songs, like, yes, all went to the land. So after he won the tie off to go first, that big bad right there eventually killed the first Great Unclean one. After he summoned the second proxied Great Unclean one, and I put a tree in his deployment zone, which will give me one of the 3 units I need in his deployment zone to get a major victory. Because once I get 3 units into his deployment zone, I get a major victory automatic. If I wanted to go for the double, I'd have to have them lined up with the objectives as well. He killed one of the the drones, greatly finished off most of the tribe. So most of them are there, chopped up to bits. Greatly watered down the plague drones, the plague bearers, in combat with all the massive rat cells here and the great horned rat. Correction. Character's name?
It's a Verminlord Warpseer.
There we go. What he said. When these guys were over here that were tying up the ogres, instead of them staying in combat, the new guy that was summoned and the previous guy that was originally there, they both did the shooting attacks into the plague ogres, finishing them off along with the drones throwing their heads at them to kill the thing off. Correction, he actually shot and did 2 wounds on the
Warpseer.
The Warpseer. What he said. We're both tired. This is actually a brand new day. The sun is actually coming out right now. Aloha, the hardcore game is like, it's been a long time. We getting it in. What's the word looking for? So they killed him off. Since they were no longer tied up in combat, they did a charge over here, getting locked up into combat with 3 units. His warlords, the Warpseer, and the Pack Masters, aka the Slave Masters, I like to call them, because they're like, get back in there. The leader of the unit killed the pack rats and the warp seer. The banner bearer killed the. Was he the general, or was the warp seer the general?
The Master Molder was the
Molder's the general, and retaliation. The Hell Pit Abomination killed the first Great and Clean one, and then the second Great and Clean one did a lot of damage to it, but he still has 2 wounds left, and he might get more since we agreed to go into turn 5. Also, the Warp Seer was blocking my spells. He pulled out a spell scroll and threw it at my endless spell because I got it on a 14 roll, 2d6s. I got 2 6s with a +2 with all my stuff, and he said, "Oh, wow. I don't got anything for that except for a dispel scroll," and he just threw it at it, and boom, that was gone. Got foul regenerous. Okay, regenerous. Wow, foul regenesis off. I'm looking forward to going to sleep after this, but this is an awesome game. It's been a long time coming. Foul regenesis did damage to the 3 units. You know, his general, the warps. Seer, and the pack rats, warning them down to the last one that was there. The last one that was there smacked some people of the tribe, killing more of them off. The all the rats that were here did most of the damage to the plague bears, and the warp seer did damage with his tail to these guys, adding more over there, and then smacked some of the tribesmen, adding more over there. And yeah, that's most what I can remember. Oh, and I also realized that I was doing his saves wrong, so he may not have even died, but because I messed up, he over there. he over there with the death pile, but it's gonna be okay because he's like, he must die. He's like, I'm gonna throw everything I have. He's just like, that SOB must die today. And which is good because afterwards I told him my strategy of how this game would have been over already. But no, the Great Horned One told him exactly what was about to happen. He said, kill that one now. Now. As the Skaven would say. But yeah, all kinds of good. Any thoughts and whatnot so far?
Bring another Hell Pit. That's all I can say.
This disgusting giant thing is what he's talking about. Yeah, see, there it goes. Now it's focused on it and stuff. This gigantic thing that just should not exist. That's what he's talking about. Also, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 trees on the table now. We're gonna roll off for the last turn. Ready to do this?
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. I got my red die. He has his die, and he's got a 6. Oh snap! It looks like Skaven's going first.
Looks like it.
Skaven's going first. See y'all, and we'll let you know what happens at the end. Because it can go any way. Either he's going to tie me up, or I'm going to get people to where they need to be. Alrighty, we are at the end of the game. So, what happens? The sun's up. That's not what you're here for. So, there was a lot of Mortal Kombat there. He did damage to him. He eventually healed his stuff back once again to my turn. He's got 2 wounds left. That Hell Pit Abomination just refused to die. He healed a bunch of wounds back. We did a mulligan because I used the wrong attack weapon. He got wounds back. And then I did wounds back to him. He's down to 2 wounds again from the 4 that he healed. We killed the rat ogres over here. These 3 guys fought the rat ogres. Actually, wait. those guys with these guys fought and killed the rat ogres. It took a team effort to do that because they're not as strong as they used to be since they were out of range for other things. They gave him points to attack. We're ignoring them. I was going to retreat. Suddenly, we did a do-over just to see what would happen. Originally, he retreated into the enemy's deployment zone, which I would have then ended my movement dropping Nurglings and then ending the game. But he said, let's see what happens if you don't do that. So I said, alright, fine. Move them back. These guys were here. They moved up. Those guys were originally there. They moved over. He was down here, moved up. Again, combat there. So these guys, though they had their movement of 8, but because of the howling winds of Highish, it's a minus d6 roll against their movement. I rolled a 1, which brought them down to a 10 because he has the bells, which gives them a +3 to their movement. Then they ran, got into the deployment zone. Once they were there, I immediately ended their movement phase. I used my 7 of 8 points left to drop, and my little Nurglings who won me the game. That's right, focusing on those little happy little SOBs. They're number 1, and it's nice and green. So, most of the death pile, I put some models back. And yes, I had my orange juice because, it's essential. So, yeah, this was a super long, yet fun war of attrition and whatnot stuff. Thank you, Brother James, for coming on out and whatnot. And your thoughts on the battle and everything?
I'm not used to playing Skaven in such a narrow pass, but definitely it was fun because we were literally fighting over the center for the most part, and then once it just kind of broke, once those beasts didn't come back for 3 of those units, it was just kind of like, okay, we'll see if maybe, the help hit did some work, but.
Did it do some? Yes, it did do some work. I'm censoring my own words of how much work that thing was doing. And he's going to come back with a second one, most likely in the near future. He's like, no, screw me having the gigantic, demigod, rat character. I'm going to bring back one of those other ugly SOBs. Just so they can, Hulk smash things and,
Maybe come back.
Yes, because those things can come back to life if you roll a 5 or a 6. Or they explode, causing damage to everything. Or 1 or 2, they just die. And I have yet to see them just die. But wow, I got shadows on the floor. I'm wondering, why do I see different colors on the floor? There's the shadows of the light. But yes, I'm happy to have seen the Warp Seer on here because now he added some counters. Because in our previous game that we did, which was not on camera a few weeks ago, just a friendly playtest game of about 1,000 points. And it was also a war of attrition. Clan Motor versus Forces of Nurgle. It was a lot of fun. Kill point game. Eventually won by the amount of points and / conceding, due to us being absolutely tired and exhausted with not needing to go to work the next day. So now, new game pops up and changed scenery and terrain came over to my place. And bumped it up to 1,550 points. And yeah, definitely got the battle into the early morning, crack of dawn, still yawning, rolling some dice. It's on it. So yeah, had a lot of fun, and yes, you do see some hero quests down there. We may get that on the channel in the near future. Hopefully, our next battle will probably be at 1850 or at a solid 2,000 points. We'll see what's what. And then we got to throw in a little bit of narrative background storyline of what happens next with the storyline, because we got into the deployment zone. Why was Nurgle's forces trying to get into that deployment zone? Why was that our secret major victory that we needed? Not only the objectives, but we needed to get there for some reason. But any last words or thoughts?
Oh, I'm satisfied and I'm about to go to work.
That's like shit, yeah. Man. See, that's hardcore right there. His brother's been out for 2 days. We were out for 2 days. That's how much we love the hobby and whatnot. I'm about to take my behind to sleep and then get ready for class. But thank you all for joining, and it's good to be back, making some videos and having some fun. And eventually you'll be seeing, yes, those bad boys right there from my Alpha Legion popping up in the near future and whatnot. So, yep. So, yeah. And name of your channel again?
Blue Ridge Wargaming.
So, you'll be seeing more of them coming back in the near future. And I'm Kane On The Brain, aka from T3 Wargamers, signing off. Aloha, man, shalom, peace later, and keep the dice rolling. Stay positive. Much love to y'all, and never ever give up on the things that makes you happy, and keep positive people in your circle, and keep the dice rolling. Aloha.
Check us.